today and welcome to another episode of Preston's monthly reviews. And we are going to be reviewing June today. So I hope everyone is doing very well and happy and is okay and enjoying life, as every day we wake up is a good day. So we're going to cover a couple of things today that I want to go through with you guys, and one of those things is the monthly polls. That each month I put out a poll, a question to you guys to answer to get your feedback on about the channel. And I've noticed over the last several reviews I've done, I've not actually gone through these polls, so I'm actually a little bit behind. So we're just going to cover them very quickly. I'm going to read the question, I'm going to get the percentages of what people have fed back to me. So 5 months ago, the question was, do you think commentary, it's me talking during gameplay, is preferred or not preferred by the community? In total I had 21 votes, and the majority of you said, yes, I think talking to us is preferred and interactive for all. Now obviously, depending on the game, I think it's quite important that sometimes we do chat to you guys. Well, I do chat to you guys about what I'm doing in the game, and it's good to get some feedback because sometimes not every single game that's warranted or is needed. So I think it's really important that I get feedback about what you guys think. But these polls are still up, so if you haven't yet voted and you want your say, by all means get on there and put your vote in and leave a comment, to see what you think. Interact with me, let me know your opinions, because I value the opinions of the community. But so out of 21 votes, 67% overwhelmingly said that yes, talking to you guys is interactive and preferred. The next one down the line was no preference, I'm not bothered either way. So it doesn't make much difference to people, and only 5% voted no. The next one we have is, when watching my or any content, do you prefer being able to see the face of the creator during gameplay or just the video itself? Now on this particular one I had 19 votes. 53% of the votes said yes, seeing the creator's face helps interaction and connection. So as we play in the video game, a little box of me will appear and you can see how I react and how I play in the game, which I've seen quite a lot of content creators do, and I can see the advantages of this, and I will start doing more of. Even though the poll is 4 months old, I have recorded a couple of videos where you can see my face, which I'm still in the process of organising. I've got a bit of a backlog of videos that I'm going through, and so it will appear at some point. Next was neither, makes no difference in the video at 47%, but nobody said no. Nobody said no, seeing your creator's face would be distracting and off-putting. So that's a good thing. So that's something I need to start actually integrating into my videos a little bit more. The next question is, I'd like to get a good portion of content out with each video, and I'm curious to find out where the community think it's a good or more productive time amount in the video in general to keep everybody interested. Obviously it's got to read more on the picture you'll see, but in general what it is, I'm asking people what length of video do people prefer, to get an idea of what kind of the interest rates in terms of people's attention spans and what they prefer to watch. Most people, 50%, said extra long video length of 61 minutes or more, with 26% saying moderate length of 16 to 30 minutes and 18% saying short length videos of 0 to 15 minutes, and 5% voted longer length videos, and that was 38 votes. Now what you'll find as a content creator, what we have is that we have these videos, and I explained it, I believe, in last month's video about AVD, average view duration, and I think a lot of content creators are quite happy making long videos or short videos of whatever video it may be. There is a varied amount of length of time, and content creators are pretty easy in what they do. And if it's relevant, some videos you only require 5 or 10 minutes, some videos will require an hour. It depends on the video itself. But when communities ask for longer videos, it's important that these communities that they want the longer videos, that they actually watch the videos and comment and like, because it helps content creators like me actually get a bit more visibility, and obviously it generates a bit more income, etc. for the person making the videos. So it's really important that if you want a longer video, that you actually watch it. If you're not too sure what I'm on about average view duration, the likes and all that kind of stuff, then please watch the previous month's video. I go into a bit more detail about this information and how your interaction with the video actually matters, so make sure you check that out when you get the time. But in general, most people said extra long video length, which is great. It means making longer videos like you do role-playing games and that, or whatever video it may be, whichever it may be, is actually quite cool. But For the information I've got told from other content creators, about 15-20 minutes seems to be the sweet spot in terms of video length and duration. So if you're new to being a content creator and you're new to generating videos, then try and keep that anywhere between 5 and 20 minutes first, just to see, you know, whether people like the particular flavour of video or the content, or etc., or how you produce it. Once you start getting a bit more interaction, and obviously the average view duration is quite high, you might be able to then expand into longer videos. Okay, so next question was asked, what are your thoughts about a YouTube channel that has a variety of different content or themed content? So sometimes you get YouTube channels that are very linear, very specific at a particular topic. So for example, just throwing it out there, you can have a YouTube channel that has about driving safely on the roads. For an example, so a channel is specifically only about how the quality of driving on the roads are and about teaching you to drive safely on the roads. So a few months ago, I did a review about obviously the different themes and introductions about you and your particular niche or what you wanted to produce. I think I mentioned model trains or train spotting, for example, that anybody in that particular field will come to your channel, but not because it's quite a rare thing to do or be interested in, you might not get a lot of traffic. So if you have different themes, you might be able to boost your popularity, boost your content in your channel, etc. So for me, obviously, I'm mostly a gaming channel. Megaverse of Preston is mostly a gaming channel, but I enjoy being creative on other things, as you will quickly and no doubt already have seen. I'm producing different things and trying to have a variety of different things going on. So my channel will be home to a lot of people of varying tastes. So somebody who doesn't like computer games will enjoy the conspiracies that I do, or the AI explainers that I'm doing, etc. So there will be different things going on. Now, I have 25 votes. 72% of you guys said a multi-theme channel is good. All the content is in one place, which is really, really cool. It's amazing feedback for me. It's a positive thing for me. 16% said it. I don't think it makes much of a difference. I'm happy either way. And 12% said a channel should be single themed only. Example, gaming or history. So the majority of the people there, out of 25 votes, did say that a multi-theme channel is good. And I've always wanted to do a multi-theme channel. Now, there are some downsides to having a multi-theme channel. I've had a conversation with a few people that do have channels already, and what they tend to do is they have a channel, for example, about gaming, and then if they want to do history, they have another channel about history. So what happens is you have potentially two sources of income when you get monetized, and not only that, you have a particular audience that's dedicated to that particular theme, topic, or subject, which is fine, which is absolutely perfectly fine. And I've been advised to do this by a few people, but for me, to make it easier for me, to easy to manage, etc. At this moment in time, I've kept it into one channel. Now, to expand on this, when it becomes really becomes more evident that you want to do subjects that are a little bit more controversial, a little bit more sensitive, like politics, for example, at this point, I would advise making up a separate channel, because if you start including things that could get you banned, that could compromise your channel security and monetization, etc., then you're running a very dangerous game. You're running a very dangerous game of having your channel encounter some problems. So for an example with this channel, I will keep it as is. We'll explore different things, say AI explainer videos and etc., fashion or games, all sorts of different pieces like that. But if I ever go into like politics or in religion, the chances are I'll make another channel. Because if that channel runs into problems, then that channel only by itself will have the problems, and this channel should be okay. I've not thought about going that far yet. It's not something I've really explored yet, but even to the point like reaction videos and stuff like this are quite popular. It's something I've thought about as well, going reaction videos, but I don't want to run into problems. No one wants to run their channel into problems where you start having strikes, you start having bans or shadow bans. Nobody wants this. As a few podcasts that I've watched and followed have had shadow bans and they don't get monetized anymore, and they are really huge channels, so nobody wants this problem. So just be careful. Just be careful. If you know it's safe, like if you have a video about history and fashion and history of fashion, and then you go on to like different types of cars, for example, perfectly fine. You won't encounter any problems. But the majority of you said that multi-theme channel was good, so brilliant. Okie dokie. So the next question we have is the types of games. Now obviously the screenshot you'll see doesn't actually, again I forgot to click read more, but you can see the different games that are listed. So you see first person shooters, racing, third person shooters and role playing games. So what I asked is the preference of types of games that the community wants to see, and out of 17 votes the majority, 53%, said role playing games like Baldur's Gate 3, Stray, Star Trek Online and South Park. Games that have a bit of story to them, like Baldur's Gate story and South Park, where there's not necessarily just first person blast them ups, it literally has a story to it. So the majority of you actually said that, which didn't surprise me, but it did. I would have thought most people would have liked the first person shooter sort of games because they're more action packed and fast paced, but no problem at all. That was a month ago. I've looked at that, and I've actually made a bit of effort to start playing these role playing games that I enjoy as well a bit more often, to give you guys the content that you've asked for. Next down the line was third person shooters like Space Marine 2, Horizon, World of Tanks, Horizon Zero Dawn, and like The Division. These games I love as well. I mean, I love all sorts of games, but these games are really cool too. They got 24% of the vote, and first person shooters come third at 18%, which did surprise me. Like Dark Tide, Battlefield, Daisy and PlanetSide 2, etc. That did surprise me. And now actually the games I play slightly more of. Like at the moment I'm recording this video to you guys, Dark Tide, Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide. I love this game. I absolutely love this game, and when I'm having some downtime and I'm not doing any recording, I'm literally just playing games. That is the game at this moment in time that I tend to have an hour on or two to play. So, but yeah, 53% of you guys wanted role-playing games, and that's understandable because role-playing games tend to be more richer in story, a bit more richer content. I find that they're available. So, I'll keep that in mind. So, 3 weeks ago, last month was basically about AI software. And we're going to go into AI software in a bit more detail with this. So I basically ask, AI software is new in today's content creation utilization, and as you know, AI has been used in a variety of different videos. Again, I haven't read more, but I'm basically asking what you guys think of AI content, and this could be AI movies or sort of like game edits, etc. And I've seen some amazing AI content out there, absolutely fantastic AI content, and games that I've manipulated by AI. I think it's unbelievably amazing. So what I've asked is the options I have 16 votes. 63% said I do not like AI content in general, but I don't hate it. So what that is basically telling me is that people rather have more legit content and not probably raw content as such, rather than actually AI manipulated, but they don't dislike it. It's something they could probably watch just casually. With 25% saying I like AI content on its own and it contributes to other videos. And then we've got a dual 6% here. I like AI content as a separate entity. I think AI content is damaging to artists and content overall. Now, we can't get away from the fact that AI is coming into the world we live in. I use AI quite a lot, to be fair. I do picture generations. A lot of the images generations that I do, that I've put on my channel before and that I've made for people, is AI generated. And there is an engineering element to AI generation when you do prompts, and how different engines will read the prompts and how you get the images that you want. And sometimes you get images that are completely horrendous. And I mean like mutations of people with 3 or 4 arms and stuff like this. But there is a mechanic, there is an engineering side behind it. But AI, I've had discussions with a few people, even a few arguments with people on social media about AI, and I did some AI videos, and there was some sort of like theatre advert or something that I mentioned a comment onto, and I basically said that I got a lot going on in my head, I've got a lot of creativity in my head, but I can't draw to save my life. So I use AI to try my best to get what's up here into reality. And somebody basically said AI is destroying artists and it's damaging and it shouldn't be allowed. And I had another artist do an image for me, and I paid for that image. It was basically an image of Morrigan Island on a spaceship, basically. And I paid quite a lot of money for that picture, and I said to the artist, this is exclusive for me, and he said no, when I'm done with it I'm going to post it for everybody to see, because I drew it. I read into a bit of detail about it, and that's not illegal, it's not bad, even though I felt a little bit robbed, because I paid for this for me to be done, and it was everyone else kind of for free. But regardless to say, he's an artist, and I had to chat with him. I just started experimenting with AI at the time, and he hated AI. He basically said, no, these AI artworks are really ruining it for me, because people are just basically doing this. You know, they've got their phones, they're typing in, or they're on the PC, they're typing in, they're getting images. Now, sometimes the quality of AI artwork is not quite the same, but sometimes I've produced some amazing images that are absolutely bang on, brilliant, and it's all done by AI. So, but AI is not just used by us, it's used by businesses as well. It's used by businesses for a variety of reasons, and it's making life a lot easier for businesses. But there are risks that people lose their jobs, things that people like artists and creators will probably get made redundant because AI will do it all for you, even to the point of script writers, writers. Then I can go into certain AI and I can say, write me a story about, I don't know, a voluptuous vampire in Romania or something like that, captures people, whatever. And rather than go to somebody or even myself write this particular story, I can get AI to do it, and it may not be perfect the way I want it, but in general it will be something similar to how in my head, as long as you give the prompts correctly, and then I just edit a little bit along the way. So AI is fantastic in so many ways, but dangerous in others. And based on this poll, I mean, only 16 people voted, so it's not quite enough to get a real strong opinion about what people feel about AI, but it's enough to have a small indicator that people don't hate it, but they prefer not having it. This was a bit disappointing for me in a little bit, because I've got some AI explainer videos that I do spend a lot of time making. It cuts a lot of time out of editing of what I have done in the past, don't get me wrong. But I like to make these videos because it's something different, it's something educational, it's something fun and entertaining for you guys to watch. And when that feedback came back to me, I was a bit, do I continue doing this? And I have continued, because if that was 160 votes or 1,600 votes and it was some similar percentages, then I would definitely know that a good chunk of the population of my subscribers don't want this. It may be something I'd have a check on. But because the votes in general, as you'll see on the pictures when I've gone through these, I mean, that was 16 votes. I'm just reading them off to you now. The one a month ago was 17 votes. The 2 months ago was 25. 3 months was 38. Then 4 months 19. And then the first one done 5 months ago was 21 votes. And now the amount of subscribers I have, it gives me an idea, but it's not enough to really have a good consensus of what people are feeling. So if you've got this far in the video, check out these polls. Let me know what you think, and if we can get those votes from 21 to like 2,100, brilliant, absolutely fantastic. And that way, then I can have a good idea about where to go with the channel, where to direct it next. So please go out and have a look at the polls. Don't ignore them. There's important feedback for me. It's important that I hear you guys out. And if you want to leave a comment and if you want to give it a like, it's a bonus. Right, so I think I've covered this historically, but I'm just going to mention it again because I did a bit more reading upon it, and I think it's quite important. And it's basically publish to subscriptions feed and notify subscribers when you upload a video, and what that really means. I'm not going to waffle on about it too much, but basically what it means is that when you publish a video to your channel, let's say you schedule a video up for tomorrow and you have this ticked, what it means is that when a video gets published, let's say you do 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it will have a notification for your subscribers. And that's good, because they'll get a ping saying, oh, there's a new video out by you, and technically they then should check it out at their own convenience and watch the video. Now, for a channel like mine, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, and a lot of YouTube advisors will have this double-edged sword kind of mentality when they come into it. So if this is mainly a gaming channel, it would be ideal to have this put on for games. So a game up video I put uploaded, this is an ideal option to select, because everyone's interested in games that come to the channel, majority will want to be notified. It's a good idea to have this option deselected when you're trying new audiences. So let's say you make a video about, I don't know, black holes, and you know that most of the gamers are probably not ones to actually have black holes or interested in black holes or anything about space, but they like games. You can use this option to push the video out into the wilderness and see how it does. And at that point, what'll happen is that people come to the channel because you're displaying new content. It's one of those. It is, for me, it's a 50-50. It's based on probably what you're doing. What I've just said there is probably the best sort of scenario, where if it's a new video to your channel that's not your main theme, it's probably best to not tick it, because the video will just go out into the wilderness to test new waters. If your channel is mainly about, I don't know, cars, and you use a car video, then it's best to leave it ticked. But by all means, go and look at other videos online, have a little look about what's out there and get some more feedback, because I've noticed that when, you know, it is a double-edged sword. Sometimes it works really well, sometimes it doesn't. So another thing we'll go into just quickly is social media. Now, some of you, most people on YouTube, they'll have a social media account. They have a personal social media account. They'll have a professional or business social media account. So social media accounts can have a massive advantage for your channel, because it just spreads that awareness of your channel's existence, especially when you're taking shorts and you're getting clips off the videos that you're doing, putting them into like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and putting them out there. And it just adds a bit of advertising, a bit more of awareness for people for your channel. The more the better, I'd say. You know, if you have TikTok, you have X, you have Instagram, you have Facebook, etc., I think it would be a good idea. It would be a good idea to have those links to your channel. I think that's not a bad thing. So for me, how I do things is I will usually go to TikTok first. So I will have the TikTok software and a TikTok studio, and I'll compress a video. Okay, get the video, get it titled, get everything done on it properly, get it how I want it to go onto TikTok, and at this point the video will then save, the edited video will be saved for TikTok on your phone, on here. So at this point what I can do is then I can go on my Instagram, because my Instagram is linked to Facebook, because it's all owned by Meta. I can then basically plot the video on Instagram, and then ask me then if I want to then distribute it towards Facebook and other linked social medias, and off it will go. But it's important, if you do that, to actually put a description or link in. That I've kind of hopefully learned recently is basically come to the YouTube channel. This has come from YouTube. You know, these social medias will pay you if you get enough subscribers or followers, etc., and you become popular enough. But fundamentally, you want these guys to come to you. You want them to come to YouTube, if that's your main base. For all I know, YouTube may not be your main source of subscribers or income, whatever it may be. It might be Facebook or Instagram, but either way, social media, it can be a real advantage. Now, with social media, what you have to be mindful of, like, you know, YouTube, I suppose, is also a social media as well, the content that you put out there. Now, a little while ago, I did AI pictures of ladies. They were clothed. They were all clothed. None of them were, in my perspective, nude. And what happened was that I think Facebook highlighted one of the pictures as, you know, new content, even though technically she was all covered and you couldn't see anything. What happened was I got a warning, and they bumped that my posts down the list. So what they basically said was that if people would find your stuff, they have to scroll a few more times. You know, when you're scrolling, you scroll and you have to do a few more times to get visible, which annoyed me because I didn't have anything that was particularly exposed. But it only got flagged on Facebook. It didn't get flagged anywhere else. It was simply accepted everywhere else, but Facebook decided to flag it. So you just have to be careful what you're uploading. Like, you know, if you do like a car, for example, no one's going to care. It's a car, it doesn't matter. But anything political or based on nudity, I suppose, as such, you have to be mindful of what you're putting out there. So in future, what I've done is I've made sure that when I've produced these images to advertise and to put out for people to enjoy, that they are decent, you know, a bit more decent than they were before, because it's just, you know, it saves you in trouble. Okay, so the other thing I'm going to mention on is about doing things different. You know, keep doing and trying different things. Now, a few months ago, I did a monthly review. I did mention about trying different things. Don't just stick to one particular subject. Try different things, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I mean, my channel now has been out for a few months, and I've got all sorts of different content out there. You know, poking the bear, all in different places, sort of thing. And I want people to enjoy it, what the work I do. I want people to have fun, I want to enjoy it, and don't be afraid to experiment. As long as you abide by the policies, of course. The worst to happen is the video just won't do very well. The worst thing is the video will not do very well. However, that being said, I've had videos that not done initially very well, but I've noticed as time's gone on, it's got a like. The average view duration's increased, which means that people have come to the channel later, or people that have been subscribing for like 6 months have only just noticed it or gone through my channel, given it a bored, I want to watch a video, and they find it and they think, not bad. So don't be afraid to try different things and put the videos on there. And as I said before, pretty sure in a previous video, if you make a really rubbishy video, let's say you just started a year ago and you've made a video that's garbage, leave it. Just don't worry about it. I mean, you can delete it, by all means, you can get rid of it. There's no harm in you getting rid of it. If it's something, I've got a few videos that I've posted quite a while back and I look at them, I'm like, I'm not happy with this, it's really bad. Initially, I got rid of them because they were just that bad. I got rid of them. But I've actually left a few of the poor quality ones. I could say poor quality ones I've left because it just shows your journey. It shows the differences of how you've improved, how you've grown over time. But don't be afraid to try different things. If your channel is about, say, cars, you just focus on cars and driving lessons or accidents or whatever, and you think to yourself, oh, I want to do something different, maybe I want to do about planes, maybe you want to do about different planes going over the air, how they interact, etc. Do it. And if your subscriber base doesn't like it, they won't watch it, but they'll still enjoy your carpet content. And then you never know, plane enthusiasts might come over and go, this channel does about planes too, I like it. Don't be afraid to try different things. Okay, so finally, podcasts. Now, I've been talking to a few people over the last few months about podcasts, and it's generated a little bit of interest that I just want to poke with you guys. It's generated a little bit of interest. I'm interested in doing a podcast for this channel, and it's not going to be, unfortunately, not going to be the high grade of a studio and a big table. I'm not, I don't have facilities to do that. But initially, it's going to be something a bit based on Teams discussions, at least initially anyway. There's a few interests about different subjects. One of the other content creators that I speak to is all about mental health and about talk about mental health. I've got a few of the guys about tattoos, as you can see, I'm loaded about tattoos, different subjects. We're going to talk about different subjects, obviously not in one episode. For example, we'll have a podcast about mental health, another podcast about tattoos. We may touch upon dating, we may touch upon work, we may touch upon content creation, all different things. It's a general sort of area that we'll focus on when we gather together, but obviously different guests and people will interact based on the topic. Now, I've always loved watching podcasts. I've always loved having that interaction with YouTube, whatever I'm watching, where people talk to each other and I get to feel like I'm part of it because it's a big discussion. I actually am interested in doing it myself, and I want to know what you guys think. There is a poll coming up that's been released in July about podcasts, and I want to get your opinion. I want to know what you think. Now, I'm fully aware that podcasts are everywhere. There's so many out there, it's unbelievable. Maybe I am late to the game. I'm fully aware of this, but I don't think that should stop me having a go. And I'd like to have a go. We can talk about anything, even like AI, for example. We could sit and have a podcast about AI. I know it takes structure. I know there's a bit of a system about it. I'm fully aware that obviously with your podcast, you need a plan, you need people, you need a sort of rules put in place. I'm fully aware of that. I've done a bit of digging about how to conduct one. But before we start really investing in time and effort to try and organise one, I want to know what you think. So, as an example, I've got a few people I say mental health. Now, this isn't coming from professionals, it's like doctors and stuff like this. This is more ground people, more the common people, like we talk about all these different things like tattoos. It's not becoming, I've got an artist who'll come on, but some of the podcasts are so big, they have these big, powerful guests on, these famous guests, these rich guests, all these high profile people, where this podcast that I'm thinking about doing is more about just general public. So when we talk about mental health, we're going to have people that suffer from mental health, people that don't suffer from it, people that have a family suffer from it. So it's all different perspectives, but there's no super qualified people. It's just about experience and what people have learned over the course of their years and their lives and what they've researched. And it just gives, for me, in my opinion, a more ground level sort of content where you take these high profile people that are having these discussions, and that they come from a minority of people that rather than everybody else sort of thing. But it's all concept, it's all ideas, it's all concept. At the moment, I've had a conversation with people about setting something up and having a trial and seeing what's happening. But before we go there, I thought, you know what, I'm going to speak to you guys. I'm going to find out what you guys think. Get a poll put in place, generate some interest and see what people will think. So when this poll comes out, give it a watch, have a look, let me know what you think. And some podcasts specify a particular topic. So some will do about money and finances, some will do dating, some will do, car restoration, and they'll specifically stick to these particular topics. At the moment, to make it easier, I'm on about doing a general one. So, the first episode, like I said, we'll do mental health as an example. Then the next one we'll do about tattoos, and the next one we'll do, cars. Obviously, if one's really popular, then we may do another episode. So if tattoos, for example, are immensely popular and gets a load of watch time and loads of likes, then we may do episode 2. And at this point, we may bring back other people, we bring back, the same people, etc. And we'll go on that narrative again. Until next time, take care, everybody. Be good. Stay safe. See you in the next one.